at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And we didn't get here because we were in traffic since Virginia.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't get here until about 8:30, but we got to see her for an hour and surprised her, and that was absolutely magical and fabulous. We started off our trip where Kevin had to do the rack and pinion on the car before we left. We are driving down and had to make an emergency stop to get an alignment on the truck in Virginia. And the magic of that and how the universe provided was we found a Pep Boys. We just tentatively made an appointment, but we went on faith and went to the place there early. They said they were going to call us. The man looked at the truck, said, I know exactly what to do, took it back, and we were on the road within an hour.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
So we've had these bitty little, side things. And then Sue, I had shared with you about Amanda, and that was,
any news on her? Any news?
I just know that she's in the ICU, and it's, I believe it is a severed carotid artery, but I'm not 100% sure. So how that all came about was Kevin, Patrick, and I were due to have massages with her on Thursday.
Oh.
And she texted me in the morning and said, I have to be honest with you, I have this really bad headache. And also last Sunday, I had done the Kriya with her. It was the first time in a while, and I looked at her and I go, she doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Like she looked really bad, but she had said that on that day, she actually looked fine. Like she felt fine. But to me, I went, holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to trust, she didn't say anything. So I just, let it go. And then come Thursday when she needed to change, I said, absolutely, no problem. Later in the day, she called me to say, are you going to be around? I might need a ride to the hospital. I went to the doctor. These headaches aren't going away. They're really bad. I said, I'll be home until about 7:15. I think we were on the road about 8 o'clock and I got a call from her. And unfortunately, I was already gone. So she got a friend that had come to stay with her earlier. Because earlier she started feeling better after going to the doctor. They thought it was just migraines.
Yeah.
And she went up in the ER and I said, no, it's just these special migraines. So I said, she really wanted to give, this is crazy. She really wanted to make sure that Kevin, Patrick, and I had our massages. I said, Amanda, don't worry about it. I said, just see how you feel. I go, why don't we tentatively, if you want, we'll make it for 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. You wake up, see how you feel, and we'll go from there. No problem. I get onto the Zoom because I said, I want to do Sakriya with her. It was more so just because I wanted to see what she looked like. Yeah. And she looked exactly the same that I had seen her on last Sunday. But I said, again, I have to trust, she knows her body. I asked her to please be aware of how you're feeling. It's not a big deal to us. I got there at 9 o'clock. She looked much better in person. Very vulnerable though. We had a good cry with each other. It was funny because I actually felt like the strong one. Yeah. She worked on me. She worked on Patrick. She worked on Kevin. She worked on all three of us. We were the last people she worked on.
Oh my God.
And I texted her later in the day because we were talking about how she was supposed to go to Florida. I didn't hear from her. I knew something. I could just tell in my gut, but here we go with that fear thing. Like instead of me just going, are you okay? Like continuing with the conversation, I did more of I'm not 100% sure. Do I really want to know? And I just said, you know what, I'm going to respect this, but I'm going to text in the morning. If I don't hear from her, I'm texting in the morning. And that's what I did. I texted at 6 o'clock in the morning because I hadn't heard. She usually just sends back like a like or something.
Right.
She did none of that. And I just had this weird feeling. And she goes, get in touch with, this one friend and she'll tell you what's going on. So I knew. And then Jen Ragazzo got to me and told me what happened because I guess she said something was wrong and said, call my mom. Because I think she's worked with Jen.
Okay.
So, and then Jen told me, texted me everything. And I went, oh my gosh. So it must have happened right after.
When was the chiropractic appointment?
It sounds like it was about a week ago. Yeah.
Bill's he went 3 weeks with these headaches. It was horrible. He'd come home at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon and then just collapsed. It was like a bad flu. We thought it was sinus. We thought, never ever thinking who dissects their carotid arteries, but very, very serious. I just hope, did she go to Lehigh Valley Cedar Crest?
I don't know which one she's in, but you know, she did mention that she's been having headaches.
Yeah.
So I don't know if these have been going on for a while now, and that was just the
Yeah. And if there
like what
was
did it.
yeah, if there was an adjustment, if there's something had happened before, if there was an adjustment, it's a very, unfortunately, a common, if it is that adjustment on that neck is not done right. It was like 6 months before or 6 months after Bill's event, all this stuff came out and this woman unfortunately died from it because it didn't get caught. But
Right.
hopefully if she went to Lehigh Valley Muhlenberg, like Bill, they immediately sent him, we got a, they delivered us up to Cedar Crest because Muhlenberg does not have the neurological team that they have at Muhlenberg. So I don't know, St. Luke's, I would say Bethlehem campus probably has the biggest neurological department if she chose St. Luke's.
Yeah, they said
That's
she was
where she
lucky.
needs to be. Plus also, God forbid, if she, here's the problem, Robin. There's not enough of this occurrence in the Lehigh Valley for them to really know, these surgeons, what to do. They saw Bill was the first bilateral carotid artery dissection, the first in the Lehigh Valley.
Gosh.
Well, we said, and the doctor was all excited. I'm like, we're out of here. As soon as he got discharged, he was in the hospital for 12 days. As soon as he got discharged, we got an appointment with the top neurologist down at University of Penn. So should she need any referrals, pass that information along because they do 1,000 a year plus. So they have way, way more experience. The problem comes is if somebody thinks that they can go in and do a balloon or a catheterization or something, she'll stroke out. That's the problem. So heparin is
yes, that's what they have her on right now, heparin, and they're not sure if they need to go in or not. And so she's just in a really bad way. And it was, again, this was something that I sat with all day yesterday. When I started going through module 8, it was another gift of the universe to kind of sit with and work through the feelings.
Sure. Did she have any paralysis of the face that you noticed when you
when I was with her, she was absolutely fine.
Just it feels like the flu, I bet Bill said, and a massive headache, and just
that's what she was talking about.
All you want.
And when she had gone to the doctor in the ER, she had no other symptoms, none. So they just assumed that it was this headache, but they never did a CT scan. And when I saw her, and I have to tell both of you, when she first told me about this on Thursday, I kept getting this vision of this spot in her brain. But, I don't know enough about my intuition or anything in that nature. And I just kept seeing this spot, and it just kept, it was like a,
wow.
When I tell you billboard type of a thing.
Yeah.
It was a billboard, but I just had to trust because who am I except for to hold space?
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. No, that's the only thing I've been thinking about her all night. It's a big deal. And, hopefully the heparin will, the body's going to absorb itself. Here's the beauty of the body, Robin. When things like this occur, in that main, carotid artery, you got one on each side. When that gets an obstruction, and there's 3 walls in that artery, so a dissection doesn't mean it tore completely. It means one of those walls have torn, and they call that a dissection. So then you've got this like backup, like a dam, and there's that blood clot. Okay. And again, that one breaks free, then you could have an aneurysm. That's the concern there. But what the body does while it's in that trauma, it automatically starts making collateral arteries so the blood can still get to the brain. It just
Wow.
does it. It just does it. It's like this little magical machine occurs inside of you, and they're called collateral arteries. They're formed to help continue, because we said, for Bill, how can he be blocked 100% on one side, 60% on the other? How is he speaking? How is he walking? This is your brain. It's because those arteries were being developed all on their own by the body to help heal itself. And that's what got him by until they know. So he's just on aspirin for the rest of his life, which is no big deal. He got off the Coumadin after the heparin and the Lovamax. I had to inject him at home. But it's a really common occurrence. But chiropractics and the doctors in Philly told us that a young girl, she was 23, one of his patients, she was driving, she was turning her head to go into reverse and tore her carotid artery. So these are freak things, unless you have Marfan's disease or some kind of connective tissue disorder. They're pretty much freak accidents, but they can happen. They're very unexplained. Yeah. So God bless her.
Well,
I really.
Yeah, I just, I sent, I sent her one text yesterday while I was writing in my, doing something on one of the modules that'll come later. Something just came to me and I wanted to share with her. So I sent it to her, and now I'll just back off and allow her to heal.
Yeah.
I'll hear from whoever when it is I am meant to hear
if you hear anything, keep me updated. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I certainly hope she's okay. I really do. Yeah. It's going to take a little bit, but she'll be fine, hopefully. Cool. Woo.
All right.
Yeah. That's a big
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot has happened. Yes, but had a very magical Christmas. It was absolutely wonderful with the kids and Kevin and the dogs. We just, oh my gosh, we had so much fun and laughs.
Oh.
And I mean, Kevin and Patrick, oh my gosh, they are, Kevin just makes me laugh. He is just so funny. And then you put Kim and Patrick together and oh my gosh, it's great.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
So we are on the road and heading down to Florida. We should be there in about 3.5 hours.
Good. Safe journeys. Yeah.
All right. I am on slide 18. Which module was this? This was module 7, session 3. Yes. My repeat back and takeaway were one and the same. Appropriate awareness goes beyond joy. The ability to be appropriate is also the ultimate survival strategy, as it's becoming attuned to the universe. This grand attunement to the great flow of life allows me to maximize my energy, to always be doing the right thing, right in terms of what is best for me. And as such, it's always awesome. For I become appropriate, not only within the small confines of my individual circumstances, but also within the ultimate context of the universe. And then all its awesomeness, everything in tune, I am appropriate in all circumstances and time frames.
The last 3 words, in all time frames.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slide 19. A lot of these were some really long ones, so my repeat backs and takeaways are one and the same. Finding those understandings and insights is actually my life's mission, my life story, and absolutely everything is focused on this, on helping me and this aiding me. All I have to do is enjoy the journey, enjoy the magic of the game, relish the mysteries, delight in figuring it all out, make that bit of effort to learn. Then I am on my way and life becomes living. I'm so glad we're doing this today.
Yeah. Will you say that again for me, please? Not read it again, say it again. Exact that whole paragraph, but just say it rather than read it. Do you know what I mean? Just like do a repeat back of your own thing. When not just saying it.
Finding understandings and insights is actually my life's mission, my story. And absolutely everything is focused on this, helping me. All I have to do is enjoy the magic, enjoy the journey, relish in the mysteries, delight in figuring it all out, and making a bit of effort to learn, then I am on my way and life becomes living.
Now you were saying all I have to do. I want to ask the follow-up question. At least and to me, I'm pretty clear on what the answer is, but I want to hear it from you. Are you doing all of what you said that you need to do? Have you been doing this? Are you doing it now?
I am doing this now. Have I been doing it all along? I would say a little yes.
Yeah.
Because now knowing what I know, the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
But now with this increased awareness, it's a yes.
Yeah. I mean, we get to do it more and more. You know, there's always more to this. But yeah, you've definitely been doing this and are doing it. Yes. And of course, you know, we're going to look back in the future and look back and say, wow, I wasn't even really doing it then, you know, but yeah, it just keeps going, you know, so. But I just want to be really clear on this, to be clear to yourself that this isn't a thing for the future. This is a thing that you are currently doing. And it is something that you will continue to do. Yes?
Yes, because catching my son.
I'm just inordinately mesmerized at how magnificently you catch yourself all the time. That's the key. That's the key, catching ourselves.
I'm learning.
That's the key. That's the key. It's something
Well,
else.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Don't you guys have to make a left down there?
Just be worried about you.
Okay.
That's right, Kevin. Just you worry about you.
He heard you. That's great. See? And you want to know, that's why I'm sitting in the back. I purposely am sitting in the back because I have realized more and more what a
backseat driver.
Oh my gosh. So it's just stick me back here, put blinders on.
So this is something interesting that we can pay attention to. Let's look at motivation, right? So when we look at behavior that we do that we don't particularly care for, let's look at the motivation, right? So what exactly was your motivation when you asked, shouldn't we have turned there? What was your motivation? Why did you ask that?
Making sure they knew what they were doing. I guess trying to control instead of just letting it be.
Or just looking to be helpful and not waste time. Yeah,
that's true. Yes.
Okay, so right. So I mean that's kind of good, but you know, it's if you look at it in the bigger context, it only works if they have actually made a mistake, right? Right. Okay. So if they have taken the wrong turn, would that question then be useful?
Yes.
Wouldn't they know they've made the mistake and it would just be redundant?
Yes.
So actually, not then when you think of it in that context, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? So what I'm trying to say here is there's the idea that it might be useful. It can only possibly be useful if you can catch it ahead of time, but that's hard to do. And if they don't make the mistake, then you just irritate them. And if they are making and they have made the mistake, they're going to know it anyway, and you don't need to rub it in. Not that you're rubbing it in, but it's pointless after the fact. So there's a very small window where it might possibly be useful. So on balance, the negative consequence of it outweighs the potential positive consequence. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going through it in detail because it's useful to understand. Then you say, I'm trying to be helpful, and then you realize it's actually not. Yeah.
Yep, and I wasn't asked either, so.
Yeah. Well, you did ask. You said, "Shouldn't you have?" Which it was kind of a question, but not really. Yeah. So how else could you have phrased that? I love this. It's fun.
I don't think there actually would have been a really appropriate way of
Yeah.
now knowing what I know. There is
It's fascinating, isn't it?
yes, because
Fascinating.
now that whole trust thing just comes back in and go, okay,
Yeah.
and what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the point. Now, if you do perceive that it's a big deal, let's say literally that they, taking a turnoff and there's a hole in the road or something, and you've got to say something. That's a different deal. If you turn out to be wrong and you say, well, okay, I'm happy to have turned out to be wrong, but I didn't want to take the chance. That's okay. But was there a big risk involved here?
No.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Nope. This was
So let me
another aha
ask you
moment.
this. Yeah. I'm just saying though, for you, when you are about to potentially maybe make a wrong turn in your learning and growth in your daily life, the equivalent of this, where maybe not, if you do, it's not a big deal. Do you care for that to be pointed out to you?
No, but the big thing that comes up is energy management. And I can see the energy management not only me to them, but also when you're mentioning about them to me, energy management just keeps popping
Exactly.
in my head.
It's not worth the energy investiture, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. And mood shifting.
Yeah, exactly. The benefit that you get for maybe saving a bit of time, it doesn't, for the rest of the journey, at least for quite a while, you have that negative energy, that annoyance, that irritation. Did you really score in the long run overall in terms of making the trip better?
No.
No, as an energy investor. I know it's obvious, and I'm going through the obvious here,
No,
but it's useful in a thing like this to
yes.
make that obvious. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. So
Wow.
yeah, but just the gift from you. So this is a very peculiar point, right, that I'm going to make. Very non-obvious point, very subtle, nuanced point. The gift of allowance of people making their own mistakes. This is a massive, massive gift and a charity that we can extend to others. It is an extreme consideration that we don't always pay attention to, we're not always aware of, that it is a gift, it is a consideration, it is a kindness, it is a generosity, right? You might even know for sure, let's assume that you absolutely saw and you know for sure, okay, you can still let it go sometimes.
Yep. And they had a plan.
Yeah.
They had a plan because here we are. They had a plan.
Exactly. So it goes to trust of others, I'm very aware when I'm in the co-driver seat. I watch everything because that's part of I feel that it's part of my responsibility. Sometimes the driver doesn't see stuff, so it just adds to our general safety. But also you do need to trust the driver. If I don't trust you as a driver, I'm sorry, I'm not driving with you. End of story.
Right.
So we have to balance that trust. If you really don't feel like you can trust somebody, don't drive with them.
Are you guys going in? Because I would just like oatmeal.
It's always nice to like something.
And I'll hang here and finish this up. You guys go enjoy.
It's always nice to like something.
Oh, he is a corker, let me tell you.
That was brilliant.
Oh,
and I thought
he is so
though.
quick. He
Was
is
that
so
Patrick
quick.
or Kevin?
No, that's Kevin.
Right.
Kevin is quicker than.
Right.
Oh
But-
my gosh.
But to me, what I heard there is, you could have just say, "Would you get me some oatmeal, please? I'd like to stay here."
Yeah.
That's what
But
I heard in his reply. You could have just asked me directly. You don't have to come in a roundabout way. Just ask
right?
me
And that's
directly with
and
your
that and look at and that's how he answers me, right? In that,
right.
but he's so
Because he
quick
gave
to
you a
respond.
roundabout because you came at him in a roundabout. You didn't just say, Kevin, could you please get me, I'd like to stay here, could you please bring me oatmeal?
Mhm.
You
And
went
especially
direct.
because he knew it. He already knew.
Yeah. Exactly. So you could have just asked him, it's like, duh.
Oh, he is. You know,
That was
this
genius. It
this
was
past
genius.
week.
It was genius.
Oh, this past week with him and Patrick has been. You talk about and me. I have been nincompoopery at my best, and I'm not even trying. But oh my gosh, I am being such a nincompoop, and
Mm,
I'm having fun, and I'm not even trying at it.
brilliant, 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 brilliant. Excellent, excellent,
Oh my gosh.
excellent.
All right. Well, here's one that's good because here's slide 20. Living is a magical adventure where everything has and think about what we just talked about, where everything has significance. Everything has meaning. Everything is attuned to my greater needs, the needs of spirit. I am the author of my own story. The author part of myself is always writing a story which is the most awesome possible. All I have to do is perceive in the appropriate context, which is everything that happens has a good reason in it somewhere. If that even just that going the wrong way wasn't a gift.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fabulous. 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 Fabulous.
Slide 21, repeat back takeaway. Everything happens to me is for the good reason of developing and enhancing my awareness in some way, for enabling me to be more appropriate, for empowering me toward maximum freedom. Once I embrace the glory of learning and growth, then life transforms into an adventure specifically designed to me. And I come to realize the world is a description and I am the one doing the describing. You know, just these past 2 days has been interesting.
In what way?
Just how this started out as quote unquote a Florida learning trip, and then having the experience of Amanda placed in there has just been. And then, we weren't supposed to go visit my grandmother. That just happened because of getting the alignment yesterday and knowing we weren't going to make it to Florida, and just my grandmother's expression at being surprised.
Mhm.
It was just so magical. So magical.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. In terms of the word being the description, in that comment, are you not describing a world where you are assuming some level of incompetence
Yeah.
by others? In that way, we can look at this description thing in a different way, you see. So, and then, and same with trust as well. It's about the implications. When we look at the implications of what we say and do, we see how we describe the world. In other words, how we look at the world, how we perceive the world, what we believe about the world. Changes things. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. That's why when we shift in the hearing and the helping, the hearing specifically, we shift from a saying and a doing mindset into an observing, a hearing, a processing, implication mindset, and connecting to the more mindset, finding those good reasons, looking for those good reasons, extracting that goodness. Different logic entirely, different way of being, different way of relating. Different way of relating.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's
Yeah.
I when I had my last session on Wednesday, that had come to me when I was with my client, and I don't know, we had gotten done, and just on the inside, I just heard, and this is why you need to go on.
Oh,
because, and I think I had shared this with you, is that, I could hear with my hands.
Mhm.
I could hear
Yeah.
clearly. It's so comfortable. It's so magical. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
But I had this, but are you hearing the person on the table? And that's when I made the connection between, wow.
Mm, mm. Fantastic, fantastic,
So,
fantastic. And look at Kevin's comment. There was a lot in that comment. He was being diplomatic. He's communicating. He was saying a lot more than just being funny. So that was very cool. That was very cool. I was
yes,
practicing with the capital H hearing there on his comment. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
he is very good at that. He's very, very good at that. He has helped me with that over the years because he is able to, I guess, repeat back. He's able to
Yeah.
repeat back what I'm trying to say, because as I've, that's one thing, my communication skills, I'm getting better at it, much, much better at it. But I still have that trouble with that communication of going from what's inside to outside, and he just is able to do it for me and in a simple form.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm still in a complex form. I'm getting easier, but I'm still at a complex form, and
Yeah.
and I recognize that, and it's a learning and practice. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Capital H hearing isn't only about hearing, obviously. It changes everything, and it particularly changes the way we speak and the way we ask questions, and the way we create a communication where things are going on, but the communication without talking for the most part. And it does change when we do talk. It changes profoundly what we say, profoundly. So yeah, it's a big deal, big deal.
I do not have book 7 with me because I had finished it, but the task I just wrote down on here.
Excellent.
I don't remember what exactly, but I just wrote Florida, trip to and from Oklahoma, completion, feeling completion, life gifts. So I
Yeah.
probably wrote that down to touch upon whatever the task was.
The task was pay attention to how the circumstances or events in your life connect to your life sessions and what you need to extract from them.
Yeah, exactly. So we
Make-
had the Florida, the trip to and from Oklahoma. Now we can add Florida again. And here's the interesting thing about the Florida. Florida is more now.
Mm, mm,
Florida was the Florida before, but Florida is even more now because more has happened.
mm. And you are more.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a different person.
And last night, I have no idea what it was about, but it was the first time I had a screamer again. I have no idea what it was about, but I screamed and jumped out of bed. And so I don't know what I was released. I mean, I have no recollection last night.
Uh, uh,
But it happened. So, of course,
uh.
we got a laugh out of that this morning.
Oh, cool. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, but you say to if you remember a screamer, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, those ones that I remembered were profound, but this one, and you know what the interesting thing is? It didn't even matter to me. It was, here we go again.
Ah, brilliant. That's cool. Well, that's a shift. That's a change.
Yes,
right?
that is a big shift because
Yeah.
I'm not getting stuck in immersion bubbles
Yeah.
of trying to figure out something that doesn't need to be figured out, because
There you
if
go.
it's meant to be figured out, it will appear.
Yeah. And a bit of perspective shifting. It's useful to understand and to be aware and just pay attention to the fact that people pay good money to go and see horror movies.
Yeah.
They scream their backsides off on roller coasters. They scream like crazy. And they love it. And they go again and again and again. Right? They can't get enough of it. So. I'm just saying, it might not be what we believe it to be. It might be something else. Can't always be sure.
All right. I am in module 8. I think I'm actually towards the end of module 8 because I'm
So
noticing towards the end is, a lot of, I'm not even sure. So as we go through towards the end of that,
okay.
you'll
Yeah,
have
try
to
and do
kind of
them
help me with that.
session by session. Module 8 is actually fairly important to do in order. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I am. It's just that as I'm getting to the
Oh,
end,
okay.
I started getting towards, yes. Anyway,
Okay.
um,
Okay, no problem. By the way, were you doing module 8 from the book or from the online or both?
from the book. Oh,
Interesting. Are
all
you
of this.
enjoying doing it from the book?
It is much easier for me from the book, and if I did not have the
Interesting.
books, I would not be as far ahead as I am. I mean, again, here
Ah,
I am on another trip that yesterday I was sitting in the back seat
yeah.
doing
Oh,
more.
wow. So
So
perfect.
the
So
books
perfect
are
how that worked
absolutely
out.
fabulous for me.
Oh, good. Are you enjoying the books? Physically enjoying them?
Yes, they're
Oh.
my babies, actually.
I figured. I hear you.
Yeah, they're pretty special. I won't even
Oh,
write in them. I know that that's what they are meant to
yeah,
do, but I won't write in them.
I feel the same way. And I used to write in all my books that I had, and underline and make note. But in these, I feel the same way. I don't think I'd write in them either. Yeah, I agree.
All
Too
right.
precious for that.
Yes, too personal.
Yeah.
Module 8, Session 1, Intent and How It All Works. My slide 1. In the beginning, a lot of these were repeat backs and takeaways, and these were done on my trip home from Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So slide 1, unhooking from the pressure of needing to get it done liberates my creativity, but not always in the way I imagine. It's certainly valuable to commit once I know exactly what it is I want to do. But before I get to that point, I need to be completely free. Knowing what I want to do is key. I don't have to know exactly how. Having the freedom to think, ponder, contemplate, ruminate, reflect allows me to be in a position to be inspired. This is critical. It takes a bit of time for things to work themselves through within themselves. I cannot see or feel or really know this happening directly. It's a matter of trust which must be gained through my experience.
Trust which must be gained through my experience.
Yes, and I had underlined for me the just going through that, the parts that stood out to me were this is critical. Trust which must be gained through my experience.
Yeah, my experience. Underline
Yeah,
my as well.
that I did. That one is.
All right. Cool. And this is the self-proof, the testing and the self-proof. It is essential. Otherwise, our inner bureaucrats can't sign off on our new behaviors. They want that proving. They want that trust that comes from your experience. You've tested it. You've proven it to yourself. Very essential. A key component. Absolutely key and critical.
Slide 2, repeat back takeaway. Then there is the input from outside me, in particular from the universe. To use or live by this may seem utterly unscientific or illogical at first, but I must simply try it. While in the process of paying attention to regular living, simply maintain a continual awareness of everything happening internally and externally, especially externally. When I look at the world around me from the perspective of what's foremost of importance to me, it's astonishing how much input I receive. Reading this back, I can my new takeaway could be my experience with Amanda.
Can you elaborate, please? Can you elaborate? I was wondering because I didn't hear what you're about to say when you spoke about Amanda. So now I'm keen to hear the connectivity, the attunement. Go ahead.
Well, here's this, reading this back, I'm very emotional over this. This situation with her. And it's really interesting to me. We had such a session on Saturday. And it was different because, again, it was as if I was the strength And it was weird because it was different. That's different. Usually, getting strength from somebody, like, knowing that, okay, they're facilitating, but I literally received exactly what I needed on that table. And at the same time, the words, the sessions were coming out of my mouth for her. And there was two of me, because I'm going, look at you. You're like, I was just saying it. I was just putting it out there. It was this, I don't even have words to explain it, because the words were coming from what I honestly, innately felt with everything that I'm learning from this course. The no attachments, the trusting.
Oh.
And that was interesting in itself. So you had all these Moreness, all these different connections going on at the same time, of me being aware of how I was feeling as I was saying these things, saying them because you need to hear, not that you need to hear these, that take from this what you will, but I'm not going to be afraid for what I'm saying. Knowing that this is my truth, and if you can find something in this to help you. Again, I don't even have the words to explain it, because I'm not even explaining it how.
Interesting.
Who-
Did Amanda's experience connect you to your own mortality in a more acute way?
Yes, there was a moment where what did I say, which that again zoomed me out to go, holy cow, which was, we were talking about the kids. She was talking to me, which is very interesting, about, how you have the kids, and how we've talked about doing the work. I'm doing the work for me in order to help those, my family around me, but yet I know that they still have to go on their path, and I have to trust and whatever. It was to that effect that came out, and to hear the aha on her. And it could be, yes, it could be, innately she knew something was really wrong. Looking back now. And then the part of me where, as I mentioned, that I had texted and I hadn't heard from her, and I just innately knew something wasn't right, but I was too afraid to go there. And sitting with that, going, this is very interesting that this is coming from fear-based, even though you trust the process of what's going on, you know exactly what's going on, that something is not right. So why aren't you doing it? And then sitting here now, sharing this with you, going, but was there an innate part of me that said, there is absolutely nothing you can do anyway? That maybe it wasn't fear, it's just that that there is nothing you can do. So just trust.
Would that emotion in a diluted form be the exact same emotion and thinking and rationale behind the shouldn't we turn here comment?
Yeah.
Fear of inaction, in other words, or fear if you don't do something bad will happen.
Yes. Absolutely.
Interesting. Yeah. Now,
absolutely same spectrum. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. Now, in all of this, and then the fear that even if you do stuff, it doesn't matter. Bad stuff will happen anyway. Was that connected to the dream, perhaps? The screamer dream? I know you don't remember, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, it could have. Is there
anything from Amanda related in the dream?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know, because now that I had that one experience with the spaceship, again, this is, to me, is about this. Yeah, I guess it could, because it's about death again. But death of what this time, I don't know. But I tend to feel, whether it is or it isn't, because I don't remember all of them. I just trust now that I'm going up. Here I am. I'm back. Okay, so wherever I was, I'm back again here on Earth in this form, continuing on. But what I do know about last night was, I know I literally, usually I'm doing the help, like trying to do something to get my voice out to be woken up, whereas I actually screamed. So I actually used my voice. I used my voice versus trying to use my voice. That I can tell you, I remember.
What a message from your subconscious. Don't try to use your voice, actually use it. Don't be going, actually use your voice. Say what you need to say. You know, say, will you bring me oatmeal, please? Instead of, you know, whatever I might want to, like, you know, I like whatever you said, I like oatmeal. Say it directly.
Which, by the way, they don't have. He texted me, they don't have it.
So what did you get instead?
I don't know. I guess we'll go somewhere else along the way. I'm good though for right now, but it's just funny. But you know what? But that trying versus actually using my voice. Wow, that has a lot more implication.
Right, a lot. Look at how you phrased it to Kevin. You didn't say "I want," which is using your voice directly. Which using your voice in this case also means to express yourself, what you want, what you feel is important, what's going on. So it was, you were kind of hiding yourself a little bit, right? You didn't want to commit yourself and put yourself out there by asking directly, right?
And you know what? This Amanda experience, again, has been very profound for me, because, again, what I keep through this is that I saw her on Sunday, and instead of saying, I go back to this, not that I want to change it or I feel guilty. It's again, this, I'm taking this from a learning perspective of, I saw something that wasn't right. Why didn't I just say, are you okay? She could have said yes. She did. She said, yes, I was fine on Sunday. But I saw something different. And what's the big deal to say, are you okay? I noticed.
Sure. You can have said, you know, I see something more here, and, you know, something doesn't seem, or whatever, you know, but we can't always beat ourselves up for not seeing everything either. So we have to have some discernment here. It's one thing to, you know, when you're speaking up about your own stuff. When it comes to other people's stuff, you can just try, you know, do your best. And if your best isn't enough, well, so be it. Yeah.
And that's really what I'm taking from it. It's a very profound learning experience of, I noticed something, so why not, you know, that, what is it, that 2020 show or whatever, you know, what would you do?
Again, you know, when it comes to others, we can't be responsible for them. We can do our best, share, that's it, end of story. Ultimately, it's their decision.
Yes, and that's where I was fighting with this. But again, something as simple as, why not just say it? I'm not hurting anything. It's still going to be their choice on what they want to do or how they feel or whatever. It has nothing to do with me. But
you can share the information. In other words, you can do your best within the context, within the parameters, within your ethics, within diplomacy, etc. But after that, you got to be at peace with however it turns out, right?
Yes.
All right, cool.
All right, slide 3, repeat back takeaway. The gifts of awareness from without are incredible, and the answers or resolutions always come, providing I am open to seeing them. Yes, it could be I'm simply working it out for myself, and seeing or experiencing something which triggers the internal awareness, bringing it into consciousness, and it's not actually a function of the universe. Does it really matter? Either way, I get the valuable result. That's the part that hit me on this.
Which part?
Does it really matter? You know, we talk about this a lot, or share about this a lot. And does it really matter where I'm getting it from, as long as I am getting from it?
Exactly. Getting value and usefulness. Exactly. Does it
Yep.
matter if it's true?
And the answer is no. Because if I
Exactly.
get value and usefulness for me,
Exactly.
then that's all that
Exactly.
matters.
Exactly. So apply this to death and your beliefs about death.
The truth
Specifically,
is,
fear of death.
yeah,
We can change our beliefs. We don't know what they are. Choose what beliefs are useful and valuable to you.
yeah. And you know, with all of this, this is more about me applying an application, because I am becoming more and more aware of things that I would like to make preparation for, let go of, but the only way it's going to work is if I apply them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. If that application, it's all in English. Yeah.
And you know, this going down to Florida started with one way in my head, and it keeps changing along the way as far as what it's going to look like, and it'll change even more once I get there, because you know, it's going to be a very interesting experience.
Mhm.
Do you trust your ability to adapt?
I do. I 100% do trust my ability to adapt. I can.
Excellent.
I have always trusted my ability to
Yeah.
adapt. What I didn't trust was my ability to deliberately make choices for myself.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And that is the difference.
And now?
I am making choices. I am making deliberate choices, not only for myself, but for those that are with me here, and trusting on the letting go of choices that others have made, and still doing what is best for me and appropriate for everyone involved. But having to do the best for me with what I have and I am able to do. And not taking more from me. The word that keeps coming in my head, that is necessary, but I don't know if that's the.
Yeah. Yeah, necessary is potent. Necessary is potent. Yeah.
Or appropriate.
Wow.
Appropriate.
Appropriate, maybe that's.
Area instead of necessary. If you exchange that for maybe appropriate, does it make more
That feels better. Yeah, that feels better.
There you go. Appropriate is always appropriate.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. It's one of the few absolutes. It's amazing.
Mhm.
You know, truth isn't always truth. Doesn't matter. But appropriate, that's always appropriate.
Okay, slide 4. The key is setting myself to be able to receive the benefits. I have to be free to not be too immersed in whatever I am doing, and be patient. Patience is absolutely vital. It's patience with trust, the difficult part. Even after having experienced this phenomenon of external valuable input countless times, it still seems it's not a guarantee. Complete trust and patience are required every time. My takeaway was simply Florida at that time. I started thinking about my brother and what I,
my family need as well. And patience and trust are exactly what is required at this time. And look at how that just led into what I just said. Wow. Oh, here's this is one that looks like it meant to me. More specifically, intent. Intent is broader. It encompasses what I actually am, what I am convinced of, what I actually do. I can think a lot of crap. I want a lot of stuff, but don't really want it. Intent cuts through all that and is what I really want and what I really am. It's why the focus on being a real person is so key. On the universal grid work, want means nothing. My takeaway, thank you. I needed this. At that time, it was the call from Spring Haven, talking to my brother, all the mental issues in the family. This just, yes, on the universal grid work, want means nothing.
Yeah. It's just an idea. Right?
Absolutely.
Very powerful.
Slide 6. In this sphere of life, intent is everything. When I consider that scientifically the universe is made of energy and that matter is merely coalesced energy or energy to which intent has been applied, then things start to fall into place. Going a step further, the universe is intent. Now everything changes. Once I tap into this understanding, that's where attunement comes into play and makes the incredible, massive difference. And it does. Attuning to the greater intent as it applies to me individually makes a phenomenal difference. The relationship with that general impersonal intent is a function of my individuality.
So how would you describe your perception, your understanding of what universal intent could be or is?
My understanding.
Actually, sorry. I want to ask this question of Sue and Bina also. So just before you answer, let them conjure up some response of their own. Go ahead, Robin. Go ahead.
All right, on the spot, my understanding of universal intent as I understand it today. Universe has an intent for me. I have intentions for the universe. What I intend may not always be what universe has intended for me. But if I trust my intention, then universe's only intent is for me to find my intention so it can create intentions for me.
So it's like a feedback loop, yeah? It's like a collaboration, like a symbiosis, yeah?
Yes.
Do
not ask me to repeat that because
it's okay.
my eyes were closed and I just went with it.
So, if I hear you there, you're kind of saying that the universe's intent is to make sure that you can intend and intend appropriately. And
yes.
it's then once you intend, it assists you in obtaining your intents. Now,
exactly.
What do you
yes.
need?
Yes.
What do you need? What do you need in order to intend appropriately?
Capital T, trust.
Yeah, what else?
Capital C, choice. Capital D, deliberateness.
Yes. Yeah, keep going.
Capital A, application.
Yes. Yes.
Capital E, encompassing.
Yes. Which requires what?
Capital A, awareness.
There you go. There you go. That's the connecting link between all of those. They all need awareness, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you need awareness in order to intend appropriately. Yes.
Yes.
In order to do all of those things, to choose, to be deliberate, to encompass, to incorporate, to apply, you need awareness. So would
Yes.
you then relate that back to the universe? And the universe is trying to help you to help yourself. And in order for you to help yourself, you need awareness. So it follows that the universe's intent is for you to gain awareness. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely.
That's what I heard you
And
say.
and trusting in the awareness of unawareness.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yes. Yes. When we don't know, we have to trust. Exactly. Exactly.
Ah.
Yeah. Very cool. Let's hear with Sue.
For me, universal intent is knowing that the universe is working just for me. And it's just working just for Robin, and it's just working for Sil, and it's just working for Bina. But in order for it to work for me, I have to be aware, capital A awareness, to know that it is there for me and it will show me everything I need. I just have to acknowledge it through that awareness. But that universal intent is, even though the word it's universal, it's very, for me, it's very personal and it's very specific.
Could that be because you are the universe?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big part of the universe. Sure. I can be considered to be the universe. Sure.
Right. Yeah. All right, cool. Bina?
Yes.
Hi, Bina.
Hi. I was saying hello in the background, but we're not able to hear that. So I was saying that when you came, and I'm here, and it's really amazing, Robin, the way your takeaways and repeat backs are actually evolving. I can see that difference. I can feel the difference now. It is getting more amazing day by day and day by day, session by session. It is getting really, it's a different deal now. So I'm really enjoying your feedbacks and takeaways. Tell what you asked. Please repeat your question again. I need to be.
Just what's universal intent for you? I mean, since Sue and Robin have pretty much kind of nailed it down, I don't know. Maybe we'll just say same.
No, yes, for me, it's this universal intent is just the space where I can choose. So this is something, a neutrality. The universal intent is the possibility. And this is what the universe provides us, the possibility where we can choose actually. So this is kind of a neutrality, neutral place, a buffer zone, a void. This is what universal intent is. We can fill it in whatever we want to by having this void, this neutral space, this possibility. So for me, universal intent is that. And it is like, okay, there was a question that, okay, how does it's going to be in contradiction with, people feel that. I feel that I cannot be in contradiction with the universal intent by any means. I have no capacity to do that because it's a void. It's a possibility. Universal intent is just a possibility. So whatever I'm going to do or I'm able to do or I might do, definitely it is going to be in alignment with universal intent. Because universal intent is not into any specifics. It is just a possibility. So for me, this is something really interesting. And I just love that. That all
So
I
you
can
said
do is, yeah, so please.
keep going, keep going, keep going.
So I was just saying that if you gave me an empty room, okay, it's very specific, but I'm just saying that this is how close I can describe to this universal intent. If you gave me just empty piece of land, this is what it is for me. And now I have everything at my disposal, at the rain, the sunlight, the water, and everything. So what I'm going to do with that piece of land is my choice. I can choose it like to just keep it as it is. I can grow a forest there. I can grow a garden there. I can build up a huge structure there. I can build a factory. I can build a school. So this is what it is. It is up to my ability to get that moreness, that possibility. So that's why we say that, okay, to increase your ability to get moreness is to be aware. So awareness is the only and the ultimate tool to get in alignment with universal intent.
So would you say that for you to choose, that you said it's about choose, a choice,
Yes.
what do you need to really make those choices? Do they have to be free? Do they have to be deliberate? Do they have to be made with awareness, etc.?
Of course, the ultimate tool, as I said earlier, that it is awareness. Once you are aware, capital A awareness, for me, it is the only awareness. But yes, once you are aware, there is no possibility even you will not make deliberate choices. So the awareness is the ultimate tool. Others are add-ons. Everything else is add-on to that awareness.
Yeah. Well, that's powerful. Yeah, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right. I just wanted to make that clear because, when we look at things through that lens and understand how it's all working, then, life changes and gets a lot simpler. Right, Robin?
Absolutely.
Mm, Let's hear more. Let's hear more. Because we are focused on attunement. So, in order to attune, it is essential to maintain an awareness of intent in mind, particularly universal intent, right?
Well, it's interesting because the next slide
Mm,
says, if I look a bit deeper, I realize that the intent of the universe is really my intent, but way more
mm,
sophisticated, way more
mm,
complex, deeper extrapolated to the max. It's like I fed my intent into a super computer and it's calculated out and unraveled out all the implications, sending back a universe and reality best suited to match my intent. My takeaway on this was I wish I knew what I was sending out right now.
mm,
Because sometimes when we're in that unawareness, you don't know what exactly you're sending out, and I just found that pretty comical, going, oh my gosh, I just got to trust what's going out there at the moment. It brings me right back to having to be aware and deliberate, but it was also that bit of nincompoopery of oh gosh, what's going out there, what's going out there for me to be aware of.
mm. Yes, exactly. We gotta pay attention to what we put out.
And the ultimate question, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? Keeps us kind of recenters and regrounds you a bit. Makes you think about what it is that you're doing.
Well, also brings back that trust aspect into it too. You're just trusting that what's going to come your way is exactly it is exactly what you need. It's just trusting that you'll be aware to approach it with appropriateness. Slide 8. This is where most lose it. I can confuse intent with want, not the same. I can want which I don't intend. My wants are counterproductive relative to my intents.
Mostly my wants are petty indulgences, which mean nothing. My takeaway, I must be more deliberate with my intents. Patience as I work through this, but also allow myself to go all the way through, even if some may be wants, just so I can become aware of the difference and find the truth of intention. So to me, this was more a matter of, I have to be aware of what I'm sending out, but sometimes I have to want certain things in order to, I'm realizing to be more aware of, I guess it was a test,
Mm.
a test to learn more, to choose differently, to be more aware. But the more I practice this, the more I am able to zoom out and be more deliberate with the quote unquote want.
Very cool. Very cool.
For you, Robin, what's the difference between a want and an intent?
Mm.
What's coming to me is, it's really interesting. I want to intend that what is put in front of me and what I receive are exactly what was intended for me.
Say that again. What you want
To interrupt you, Robin,
What I
This-
want to,
this voice is coming from you or from Sil? The background voice.
I think that's the car. I think that's their radio on in the car.
oh, that might be,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah,
That's right. Right.
No, it's all right, but it was just not making your voice very clear. Here it is.
so my want, it seems more, the word that's coming is superficial, but not in the exact meaning of the word. It's almost as if closer. If you can understand what I'm trying to say, it's want is more of a now versus intend is more of a to become and is a being. If that's what
So do
you're
I hear your want is like a thinking, or again,
Yes.
they use the word that petty indulgence.
yeah, okay, all right, yeah, that's perfect. The want is more of a thinking, whereas the intention is more of a trusting.
Or a doing.
Yes.
Is it a doing for you, an intent?
Again, the word trust keeps coming up.
Mm. So if you have a want, is there a commitment to actually doing that want, or do you just want it?
Oh, well, no, when you put it that way, it had that meaning once before, but now it's got more. So
Mm. So if you intend to do it, that means you committed to doing it. Yes, you serious,
Yes.
you doing this.
yes,
And when you intend to do it, does that intent then invoke the universe to be a part of this doing?
yes.
Does the want involve the universe necessarily, automatically?
Not at first, no.
No. When you commit to it, and that want transforms into an intent through that commitment, then it becomes an intent. Once you've intended it and you've got that commitment and now you've involved the universe, that's when you trust. Yes?
Yes.
You trust that your energy will go to work making it happen. You trust that your energy will collaborate with the universe to make it happen. Yeah. You trust that you're
Absolutely.
going to do all the things that you can do in an ordinary, sensible, just a regular practical way. You trust that you will do those things. Yeah. Because you intend this to happen. This is a serious commitment. It's not just a hope and a wish. Yeah.
So can we say that that wants are more specific or more connected to our needs and requirements, but it could be something because
You're breaking up, Ina. You're breaking up.
Breaking
You're a
up
bit
a
far.
little.
oh, so it is because of this. Now it's clear.
No, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Perfect now.
So uh, it breaks up when I hear some background noise from somewhere.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Robin or from Sil, you. It's like a radio connecting to. Anyway, so for me, I was just asking you that wants are basically connected to our requirements, needs, where we feel that we are lacking in something. But when we intend something, it is not connected to the lackness. We don't need specifically that. Intend to do
Yeah,
something, get something. Wants are connected to the lackness, but intent are connected to moreness.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
uh,
could be.
say-
Could be. No, I don't know if it's always like that, but yeah, it could be.
Even if I'm intending to get something, it is because that I see that more. I am connecting to that moreness. But when I want something, it's like I'm actually accepting. I'm in that state of being where I need something. So it is. I'm coming from the state of lackness, not
Yeah.
moreness. So this is what with capital I intent, the difference.
So probably when you look at it that way, you say, well, you aren't likely to commit and into something if you don't see a moreness involved.
Yes, but also this trust part, capital T trust involved in that. When I kept I in and I trust, capital T trust on that, it already shows me, it already gives me that leverage to be in that moreness state. There is nothing, oh, I want this. So when I want this, I am actually connecting or projecting from the state of lackness where I need something. But when I intend something, I have capital T in me that yes, on universe also, that this is going to be happen. This is going to happen. So this is, I'm already connected to the state of moreness, not connected to the lackness. So this is for me that the difference between the intent, want and desire and wishes are.
You know what I just heard in that when you were sharing that was, or I picked up for myself was, when you talk about want and lackness and intent and fullness.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't want to still, for me, a desire, a hope, a thought, where the
A
intent,
wish.
a wish, correct, where the intent does bring moreness to that one because there's an action involved. An action is required to have that want fulfilled.
Exactly.
Commitment. It's a commitment.
You have to do something about that want. That's what, for me, what turns it into an intent. You're doing the want, the desire, the wish, the hope. Otherwise, it just stays upstairs as a thought.
Then it's a wish. Sue, exactly what you are saying. The difference here is when I something. So the moment I say that this is shows that I already have that trust in me. So this is background.
It's okay. You just have to keep talking, Bina. Just don't have pauses in your talk, and then it minimizes the background, and we hear you fine.
Already have that trust, and take my action happen. I have clarity of intent. I have this thing in my mind that how I'm going to get this, and I'm yes. So this is different. When I wish something, when I want something, I am not to that capacity trust. So either I might do, might not do. I'm not connected to that moreness. So exactly what you are saying, Sue, that yes, it's about intent, take some action. How trust.
Right.
Yeah, and intent, in other words, it's when we are actually really serious about getting what we do.
Right.
That's that commitment. We're serious about it, and we put everything into this. This is something that we are saying we absolutely, really are going to make happen. We don't just want it, we're going to make it happen. The big difference between wanting it and making it happen. Yes?
Right.
Big deal, big deal, big deal. Very cool, very cool. Let's hear more, Robin. Let's hear more. Let's hear more.
Slide 9, the repeat back and takeaway was the same, which is my intent at the root is good. I have to understand I have a deep innate intent to goodness.
You do.
You know, there's
You
not much
do.
more to say there.
You do, right? Do you see your own intent to goodness?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about Bina?
Absolutely agree
Sue?
with Robin. Yes.
I'm asking, sorry, Bina. I'm asking Robin if she sees it in you and in Sue.
I'm sorry, what are you asking me?
Do you see the intent to goodness in Bina and in Sue, or in me?
Absolutely.
Mm,
There is no other way.
mm. How about the two monkeys in the front?
Yes.
Just to tease them a little bit. They can't hear me, hopefully. But you see the intent to goodness in Kevin and the intent to goodness in Patrick, yes?
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
Robin?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I could see his face and his eyes from the mirror.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
All right. Slide 10, repeat back and takeaway. Being good. when
So
taking-
before we go 1 second,
Sure.
you know, that seeing of the intent to goodness in others, it's something that we need to constantly reconnect to and bring to the surface, to make it a habit to constantly remind ourselves of that intent to goodness. Now, just because there's an intent to goodness, does it always come through all of the filters and all of the obstacles and all of the translations and the communications and all of the stuff that is between the intent to goodness and action and behavior? It doesn't always come out the way it's intended, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a good thing to remind ourselves that behind the cockeyedness, the peculiarities, the oddities, the weirdness, the whatever, behind whatever we perceive is usually a deep intent to goodness. It doesn't always come out exactly right. You know this from your own experience, yes? Like in your oatmeal comment, there was intent to goodness behind it, but it didn't always come out right. So remind yourself of that when you are hearing others. There's an intent to goodness. Doesn't mean it's always appropriately expressed, applied, communicated. Yes.
Yes. Writing that down.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Big deal.
Slide 10, repeat back, takeaway.
So one more thing. It just in the same way as we are experiencing a bit of communication, we're not hearing exactly clear, like when Bina talks, right? So we know that what she's saying, we know she's not actually sounding like that back there, you know, if somebody's in the room with her, right? So the way we hear her and what she's saying is not exactly the same. It's the same thing with intent to goodness. So we got to know there's interference sometimes that gets in the way of that intent to
Ah,
goodness.
Okay.
And we need to make allowance. We need to make allowance for that interference. Yes?
Still, there is no disturbance here in my surroundings, and
That's
actually,
not what I mean, Bina. I understand that. Exactly.
actually
I,
hearing a lot of noise from I don't know.
I know, Bina. I know. I'm using it as an analogy, right?
Yeah.
To say that the same way when you hear yourself, it's perfectly clear. When we hear you not, I know why it's happening, but that's not the issue here. It's
Yeah.
the point that what we hear isn't always what was originated. So we need to listen to the intent to goodness and make allowance for the interference and the corruption that can occur. Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
That's really useful. It's really useful. I once saw a funny little skit, comedy little scene where the guy drives up to the drive-through and he hears the person ask him, "What you want to order?" And he's, and he drives to the window to collect it, and the person says, "Yes, your order." It's the way guy actually spoke that way. Sorry, I can't make it exactly the way they did it, but you get the point. It was really well done, Yeah. So
That's wrong. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, just not always is the intent to goodness pure. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We're gonna understand that, but it's useful in general. The guy behind the microphone isn't speaking that way. Yeah. Yeah. And when we make that special effort to go past what is said and listen to what is that intent to goodness, it changes the whole world. Changes the whole world. We hear differently. We do. We do.
All right. Well, it is 9 o'clock now, so
No.
I will give it over to my family now.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant.
And I will be at the house on Wednesday morning, so
Oh, good. Oh,
it
good.
won't.
Okay.
There won't be all this.
Oh, good. Okay. You made a
Hopefully the
note of
connection will be better.
where we stopped. What slide were we on? I don't remember.
We
What
are
you
on
make a note?
slide. We're going to pick up on slide 10,
Oh, correction. Page 10.
page 10.
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
really page 11 though. It's really page 11.
Yeah.
If you
It's
look
page
at-
11. Yes, it's page 11, and for me, I do by slides. So yes.
Yeah, so it's really slide 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, we're in module 8, so I have the book with me, so I can.
Right.
Well,
actually
that's
go
what I'm
along
saying.
with
You're
the book.
working out of the book, so it's page, not slide.
Yeah, but it's
That's
it's
true.
the same thing when you match them up.
I know, but I'm just teasing because she's using from the book, so it's
Okay.
page. Yeah. She's working from the book.
See, a habit, right? I got into the habit of writing slides, and I continued the same way. Because you
Just
want to know
having
why?
fun because
It works for me.
yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and it's led to that we now have the slide numbers in there too. So it's fantastic. It's really cool.
All right. Well, everybody enjoy Bina. I'm sorry if it was on my end. But
No, it's
Not a
okay.
problem. Not a problem.
we will be together again on
Wow.
Wednesday. Thank you so much for sharing.
Before you
and,
go,
go ahead. Yes.
what's your takeaway of the session overall? What sticks with you? What stays with you for the day?
For today, I am definitely going to that whole situation with the directions. I'm going to be a little bit more aware of my choice of words before I speak. And that's what I got out of it more than anything is, once again,
Awesome.
really make
So
sure
your
I pause and say
application.
what does it says, to make sure that I am saying what I intend to say.
Yes, and to look at the implications of what you say.
Yes.
All right. Now, look at the implications of what Kevin and Patrick say also to help yourself. Do it in the other way around also. Not only pay attention to the implications of what you might say, but listen to what others say and look at the implications of what's said and see if the two match up, right? Connect their intent to the implications. Yeah. It's fun habit.
It's going to be
It's a
interesting.
very
Yeah,
fun
it's
exercise.
almost gonna be
Yeah.
like a little game.
Yeah, it's a very fun game. Yes, very, very fun. Brilliant. Brilliant. I love that application that you saw something and you said, this is what I need to work on today. And well, for as long as it's needed, not just today, but for, you know, this is what I need to work on.
Yes, but I do a lot of just for today to stay in the present.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
All right, everybody,
Application.
have a magical,
You too.
applicable
You too.
day.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
All
what
right.
a beautiful always.
And,
Yes.
and I will talk to you on Wednesday morning.
All right. Be
Ah,
safe.
brilliant.
All right.
See you
All
then.
right.
See you
Take
then.
care.
See you
Good
then.
luck.
You got it.
Bye-bye, Robert.
And
Bye-bye.
Sue, I'll
Bye-bye.
keep in touch. Now I just
Yeah,
have to figure out how to get off it.
All right.
We can kick you off. We can kick you
We'll
off if
take
we
you
need.
off.
All right,
All right.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, Robert. Bye bye.